All right, welcome to the weekly reading. We've got the Taurus last quarter moon right now. So Taurus is this sign of comfort, stability, growth, growing, because it's the center of spring. So it's the plants that are popping up out of everything, and where we find our comfort, where we find our coziness and our aesthetically pleasingness, because this is a planet ruled by Venus. And then we also have the last quarter moon, which is building towards the full moon. So this is what are we growing, what energy are we building towards, and what are we acknowledging, so that we know when the full moon comes around what we need to release. So all of this energy is tied up with the end of the eclipse season and this retrograde series of things that's happening. It's 5 or 6 planets still currently in retrograde. Mercury is still in retrograde till the end of this month, and then there's the shadow period of about 2 weeks. So it's not like everything is, oh, Mercury retrograde's ended and now everything's cool. There's still lots of other planets in retrograde. There's still a lot of other moving parts going on. There's a lot of things going on that we collectively are working towards, and we can see that all over the world. We see that in Hawaii, we see it in Puerto Rico, we see it in Sudan, we see it all over the world. People are refusing to relinquish their own empowerment. We have the ability to empower ourselves and to take control of the means of operation of everything, because we have power in numbers and we have power together. But it's the disempowerment brought on by the people who would hoard resources and power, that don't want us to get together and get shit done. And there's movements all over the world that are really acting together to form mutual aid and to say that we won't stand for this bullshit anymore. And so I'm really grateful to be around in this time. I'm also grateful for these moments that I've had here to rest and take care of myself and sit in the sun for a little while. We all need that, and for some reason I was blessed enough to get to come here and experience this land and experience the spirits here. They're very strong, and it's been really interesting to learn about the history of this place, to watch the birds of this place, and I just hope that all indigenous peoples get their rights and their land back and their autonomy back and their joy and their sovereignty, all of these things. But bringing it back to what the cards I got for this week, we've got the Son of Pentacles, the Whale card, and Jasper. And there's lots of sounds because this is an extreme tourist destination, despite what has happened here, which is either, I was reading the history and I couldn't tell if it was necessarily that there is actually an indigenous people's burial ground here, or this was a route, and or it probably could be both. This was a route where a port where they would come collect gold, and then they bring it to the port and take it out, and at some point a bunch of Spaniards got murdered either by pirates or the indigenous peoples, and their bodies were just left on the ground here. And so that's kind of the history of the place that I'm at. But now it's completely covered in tourism and hotels and beach umbrellas, and it's very interesting to feel the weight of both of those things in one place at one time. But anyways, what we're talking about now is Jasper. How about this card? So Jaspers are very common and have been used across countries and millennia by shamans, by royalty, as protection stones, but they bring an earthly quality to them. The symbolism and meaning behind Jasper symbolically has been said to be this nurturing, earthy energy that holds us and grounds us as we do the work that we need to do, and especially this Jasper being the brown Jasper. It's really about grounding our energy and figuring out where we're putting our energy so that we might do that more constructively. And at the bottom of this card it says, follow the leader. And this card always makes me think about, who are we following? Who is our leader? Are we our own leaders? Are we looking towards mentorship that we really appreciate and we can learn a lot from, or are we being led unconsciously by things like media and social media and all kinds of other things that are distracting us from our own empowerment? But I see the people rising up again all over the world, and it's very inspiring for me. And I hope that all of those people understand also that just as much as we need to be out in the streets, we also have to be taking care of ourselves, otherwise we won't have the energy to be out in the streets. So think about who and what you're following and what you're investing your physical energy into, and think about how you can support yourself and nurture yourself more so that you could be in proper mutual aid with people, and you can be able to be of service to others but also be of service to yourself. And then this is reiterated with this Son of Pentacles card. This is the Knight of Pentacles or the Son of Pentacles. It's a masculine active energy, so how we're putting our energy out there. But again, Pentacles is an earthly card. So this is very much like understanding that this is not a sprint. We need to pace ourselves. We need to understand that we're in this for the long haul, that when we kick one politician out, it's inevitable that another politician or another shiesty person is going to fill their void. Unless we are very proactive about putting in the steps in order to create the real world that we want to see. And that is not going to be fast, and it's not going to be easy. It's going to, because there's a lot of undoing that needs to be done in order to do something more productive. And so this is finding productivity and being active in what we're devoting our physical energy towards. And the only way to do that is to understand our emotional depths. The Whale card is really asking us to dive deeply into our emotional depths and understand why we do the things that we do. And if we're learning the same lesson over and over again, then it's really dive deeper into what it is that you are not paying attention to in your life, and understand that you're not ready to come to the surface until you have mastered those things. And whales are these ancient creatures, and they're so sensitive to the emotional realm around them, and they're also massive, so they're bringing this large energy of protection and nurturing. They're very nurturing with the family pods and the babies, so what are you nurturing? What emotionally are you bringing into this world, and how can you make your life more sustainable by understanding your emotions and your subconscious, so that you can make different choices, live a different life, and then in turn helping the entire world live a different way? Because that's ultimately, I don't know if that's the goal for you, but that's definitely the goal for me. Even if it means that I lose the privilege of things like this, I don't care. I would rather see this world be a better place, and I would rather relinquish privileges in order to see that. And honestly, we all got to get on that page, because all of these privileges that we have are not going to be around forever. Not considering all of the factors of global warming and fascism and white supremacy and so on and so forth. We can go on all day. But this is really asking us to just step into our emotional power and to understand that there's wisdom in diving into our subconscious and the deep realms that maybe we don't want to look at about ourselves. And so with all of this, I hope that we stay grounded and we find comfort in whatever way we can in every given moment. Find some sort of stability or something to follow, whether that be the light inside of yourself or a mentor that you trust. But just understand also that humans are fallible, nothing is perfect. Everybody's working on their own trauma and trauma from ancestors before them. And every place that we are, every ecosystem that we exist in, has its own energies, its own spirits, and its own history that has come before it. And while I'm in this beautiful paradise with the beach and the plants and the birds, and I'm so blessed to be here, I'm so grateful for this moment to recharge, there's not a second that I don't think about the blood that is shed on this land, the indigenous people who are buried underneath it, and the stories that are not being told because we silence indigenous people all over the world. And we have been for many generations. So I hope that we all can lean into this energy, into this groundswell that's happening all around the world, and understand that we deserve all of the beauty, emotional support, physical support that is out there, as long as we're willing to share it. So thanks for being with me, and I'll see you on the full moon.